Northern Iraq and the Nineveh Plains are some of the most culturally and religiously diverse places in the world. Religions and cultures many Americans have never even heard of have peacefully coexisted for millennia. It is a tapestry of Christians, Muslims, Yazidis, Zoroastrians, and more. In 2014, this diversity came under violent attack by ISIS, or Daesh, as they are called regionally. Many people had to flee their homes during what is called the time of displacement. Men, women, and children were persecuted, tortured, raped, and murdered at the hands of Daesh. But Daesh was beaten, and the people are beginning to return and rebuild. We have been lucky enough to meet some of the people taking it upon themselves to make a difference in this broken place and unify its fractured people, which is why we find ourselves in a cave on the side of the road. Kurdistan, a country within a country. Ostensibly part of Iraq, it has its own government and is considered semi-autonomous. Our journey begins there with Hardwired, who you may have met in our previous episode in Mosul. They're a US-based organization devoted to fostering pluralism and tolerance through education and community empowerment. Today, they're taking us to meet one of their master trainers at a Yazidi holy site. It was, however, Nowruz, or Persian New Year, and many Kurds were off work and out celebrating. So we got a little distracted. First, it was the caterpillars. And then, next thing we knew, we were being invited to tea and shisha.
Shukran, Habibi. No, on the other side. It's slippery right there.
Oh. Hey, sorry.
That's nice.
When our translator and hardwired cultural liaison,
Hana, got involved, things escalated. We arrived at Lalish, the holiest Yazidi site and tomb of the founder of Yazidism, Sheikh Adi, a Kurdish-speaking monotheistic people whose belief emerged in the 12th century. Yazidis were heavily persecuted by Daesh in 2014. Over 5,000 Yazidis were killed during the genocide at Mount Sinjar.
we were there to meet Hardwired lead trainer Rian Salo Kader,
who told us more about the Yazidi people.
نحن اليوم في معبد لالش النوراني.
We are now right in Lalish shrine, considered the main shrine for Yazidis in all over the world.
يأتي الأيزيديين من كافة أنحاء العالم والعراق إلى هذا المرقد للتعبد.
All Yazidis from all over the world, they came here for worship.
So Rian, so you're Yazidi.
Yeah.
One of the things I heard about Lalish is that each Yazidi is supposed to come to this location every year or once in their life.
في بداية ولادة أي يزيدي وهو مولود صغير.
When Yazidi born,
Yes.
his parents brings him here.
Okay.
في منطقة مخصصة فيها نبع ماء يسمى بالعين البيضاء.
In a specific place, there is a spring. They call it a white eye. Here, they wash his body
Like a baptism?
Exactly.
Yes.
It is,
Okay,
yeah.
so they do
Yes,
a baptism,
exactly.
here. So
Baptism,
the
that's
Yazid-
right. Yes,
So this is a super holy place for the Yazidis.
correct.
Is it the most holy place?
Yes, أكثر مكان مقدس
Yes.
عند الأيزيدي. That's right.
This is the sacred place for AZDs.
It's gorgeous. I mean, so we are in Kurdistan right now,
نعم.
but the Yazidis are lots of countries.
Yes, that's right.
Yazidis are living here
Yeah.
in the regions surrounded Lalish
Yeah.
and also in Ninawa.
And today's a special day. Okay.
نوروز، عيد النوروز هو عيد أيضا قومي لكل الشعوب اللي تعيش في منطقة كردستان العراق.
It is a national and historical occasion, and all people living in this area, they are celebrating.
So talk a little bit about the Yazidis in the last maybe few years.
في 2014
2014, when ISIS attacked cities with weapons,
أنا عن نفسي كنت أراقب التلفزيون يومياً.
I was watching TV. Sometimes I can't sleep at night, and ISIS were in Mosul.
It got close.
August 2014, after the occupation of Mosul by ISIS, ISIS attacked Sinjar. At that time, I was living in Bashiqa and Bahzani,
Yeah.
two cities. We moved so quickly and we left everything, just our papers and documents.
How much time did you have before you had to leave?
Less than 1 day.
Less than 1 day.
ولم يبقى فيها أحد. توجهنا إلى كردستان.
This place took KRG. We knew that ISIS is intolerant. The places that ISIS attacked and controlled, they asked people to be with them, or they murdered them.
You could either convert or you got killed.
أكيد
Definitely.
أكيد فرصة أو مجال سوى الهرب والمغادرة.
We didn't have any chance, just fled. ISIS, they did horrible things in Sinjar. They took women and young women and they raped them. They took the boys. They threatened them, if you don't be with us, we will kill you.
تخيل اللحظة الذي ينفصل فيها
You just imagine the moment when a child separated from his mom, how they killed the men in front of their families because they are different in religion.
And a religion that's been around, a long time, many thousand years.
وليس بطريق الإقناع بل بالتهديد بالسلاح.
It was deep, deep suffering.
And the Yazidis who've been oppressed over many, many years, ultimately the Yazidis survived, right?
بالنهاية,
الخسارة المادية أستطيع أن أتحملها.
when you lose farm or something material, things, it's not losing. But when you lose a people, human, this is the hardest.
Everybody has a story here.
Yes, that's
And
right.
for an outsider coming here, I just noticed that the Yazidi people seem happy and beautiful.
اليزيدي إضافة إلى شخصيته هو محب للحياة.
AZDs, they love life, love to live. And also, the people that you are observing now, they are the survival people from the chaos.
Yeah.
تستطيع أن تأخذني مثال.
I'm one of them, the example. This is our land. It deserves to stay and build it. He said, I have the feeling of love for everyone, but Hardwired gave me the tools to convey this love.
The fact that you guys both can demonstrate how people of different religions, really anyone, can get together again. Thank you for the hard work that you guys do. It's important to show that outside of, war and destruction, there can be love and goodness, and you guys are a part of that.
Oh, unity in diversity.
You're the heroes in our world.
Thank you very much. الجزء الأخير ست هنا.
Rayan told us it was his suffering that inspired him to join Hardwired, so he could fight for pluralism and diversity. The only way forward is to turn their joint suffering into power, he said. We soon got a taste of the Yazidi love for life as we were once again invited in by total strangers.
Shingali? Shingali. لا نوز مريد رقيبنا شغيب جارة مشكينا This is Kurdish song.
Our next stop was the Court of Churches, a historic site of 4 distinct Christian churches in the devastated Old City in West Mosul. They were destroyed by coalition airstrikes because ISIS had converted them into their base of operations during the occupation. Its restoration is being undertaken by UNESCO, and we were lucky enough to meet site engineer Anas Zaid Abdulmalik. A Maslawi and a Muslim, Anas is proud to be a part of this project to bring Christians back to the city. We were also joined by Hardwired Global's founder, Tina Ramirez.
Yeah, this place locally known as Hosh al-Ba', which means the court of churches. We have 4 churches, one for Syriac Orthodox. We have the Armenian church, you can distinguish by the unique tower. Right. And we have 2 Syriac Catholic church. On the right side is the ancient one. It dates back to 800 years ago. And the new one was built in 1862. So basically this place located in the heart of the old city of Mosul, where people lived together, Muslims and Christian, for centuries, because the vast majority of people were living here were Christian. And unfortunately, they left Mosul. Yeah, ISIS occupied this place and use it as a headquarters for them. So this is the church were hit by airstrike.
During the liberation?
Yes.
You've been rebuilding so much since last time I was here too.
This is the cloister, and we are going as UNESCO to re-establish this place as a community center.
And the community center will be for everyone, all the religions, all faiths, this whole community.
Of course, because what makes Mosul unique is the diversity of people. And what makes this project unique is that I may say most of the workers and the engineers are Muslims, and they are rebuilding a church, which is a symbol of hope and peace for everyone. So we are very happy to bring back our brothers from Christian, from Yazidi as well.
And as much damage as there is, the hope is to try to get it done even in this year.
Yes, it's a challenging thing, but...
Well, everything seems challenging in Iraq, and everything seems to be able to be done.
Yeah.
I mean, is there anything that can't be done?
No, there is nothing impossible. When there is hope, there is nothing impossible.
You guys actually received the Pope.
Yeah, the Pope has done the Mass, and he entered to this church. Muslims and Christians welcomed him hands with hands to rebuild this city.
Beautiful.
Inshallah, it will be built quickly.
Inshallah.
Inshallah. So this is an interesting project because UNESCO does a lot with heritage, but yet in the backdrop, you're using a lot of modern techniques to preserve the old.
Project is combination of reconstruction, conservation, and restoration. So the idea is not to blend everything and just to indicate what's new and what is old. Everything should be kept as a witnesses for what the church suffered. So the damaged part will be reintegrated harmoniously with the whole. We're hit by airstrike. The bullet holes will keep as a memory for the next generation. So it tells a story for what happened to the city.
That's such a story of Iraq.
Yes.
This balance is fascinating.
Yes, of course, and it's a new technique used in Mosul, maybe for the first time.
And that's why you have the numbers on the columns and the
Yes,
and
yes.
things.
Each
Like,
piece is collected from the rubble by hand in order to reuse them in the reconstruction. And just step on the concrete blocks only. It's not fully demined.
It's
we
not
may
fully
see.
demined.
So how do you guys come in every
We
day?
have hard hats.
Well, so
Yeah.
we sometimes take some risks.
And why were they specifically ISIS in here? Why did they camp out in here?
Because they thought the coalition will not bomb churches, so they used most of the church as offices.
With all the work that you guys do with reconciliation and the religious plurality and pulling these things together, I mean, when you look at it, what does this represent, the reconstruction? And
I mean, I'm encouraged by what Anas is doing and how the Muslims here are leading the efforts to rebuild. And I think that the community that has fled, seeing that gives them hope, even as this construction takes place. And it will eventually be rebuilt, and the people will come, and there will be this great celebration, as we were talking about. The people have been able to continue their faith, their lives have continued even outside of the buildings, because that wasn't something that ISIS could destroy. Daesh couldn't destroy who they are as a people. And as a people, I mean, they've survived for 2,000 years in Iraq and in many other places with that faith that goes beyond a building. I was here 2 weeks after the genocide started, and the communities were forced to flee from Sinjar and from Mosul and the Nineveh Plains. And meeting those families then and seeing the refugees that had fled or the displaced people that had fled and hearing their stories, and now being here 7 years later and all the work that we've done in between, there is hope. I think hope is being restored here in so many ways, and this is just one example of it.
A few weeks ago, a group of Christians come here to visit the church, and they were surprised. Muslims people are rebuilding a church, and when they left, one of them, he said, "This is definitely will bring back the trust." So it touched my heart, because I feel like Christian people lost some trust in this city, and I hope he will come back again and see all this church were rebuilt as it was. And you can see the bullet traces has been refilled with the specific materials.
use the handrails, Craig.
And you hear the call for prayer.
Yeah.
The sound of bells are missing now, and we want to hear both sounds here in Mosul. So
The call to
it's-
prayers as well as the church bells.
Yeah, for me it's a sad moment to only hear the call for prayer, even if I am Muslim.
It could be a beautiful sound.
Exactly. People will remember Mosul before ISIS, and when they were together.
Wow, now it's just like really coming from all
Yeah, you
sides, the
see?
call to prayer.
Imagine if you hear the sound of bells as well. You see?
Well, but you can see all the destruction from up here too. It's
And some of the houses were for Muslims as well. So they not only separated Muslims and Christian, even the Muslims were separated in this area. So it's our city.
Yeah.
We don't want to live alone.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
That says a lot.
Awesome.
Finally, we were headed to Karkush in the Nineveh Plains to see a predominantly Christian orchestra perform a plurality of Eastern songs. We spoke with another of our hardwired translators, Gerrit, who was instrumental in the formation of the orchestra by coordinating between the various NGO supporters like Hardwired and their partner organization, Hammurabi.
This orchestra is called Kinara Orchestra, which is in our old language, a kinara is a harp. It was established at 2019 from graduates music courses as well as from professionals. All together come from Nineveh Plain, almost like, and mostly from the city of Karakosh or Baghdad as it's called.
and the music though, is it a mix of different?
It depends on the event that we are like implementing, but for this one, we are doing a mixture that consists of mostly Eastern music with different backgrounds, different languages. For instance, we have Arabic songs, Syriac music pieces, as well as Syriac New Aramaic songs, and Mosul heritage as well, and music for ancient Iraqi musicians and composers.
What is the beauty of these musicians coming together here in Iraq?
Actually, the conductor is Father Duraid. Father Dre actually talked about music groups that came from all around Iraq, from the south, from Basra, from Mosul, from Baghdad, from different places. How can they play music in harmony under one lead, regardless of the background of the person or the group, regardless of where it is coming from? This is music. This is what makes us unite and play in harmony, regardless where we come from, regardless what are our backgrounds.
When he spoke, he mentioned that, instead of holding guns, they can hold instruments, because music brings people together.
Before 2016, before ISIS time, there was like almost no people going to music classes. But after displacement, we start such thing, music courses, because people at that time, in the time of displacement, didn't only need food assistance and medical assistance. Sometimes you need education. Sometimes you need something spiritual. That's why we started the music lessons. You can now start seeing many young persons holding music instruments.
As you've seen the orchestra come together, how do you feel about seeing this? Because you've been around this area and you went through the displacement, but how do you look at this?
It makes me feel proud, and I can see that in the eyes and in the performance of the young musicians as well.
Is this a good indication of the direction of progress of Iraq overall?
Actually, we do our best from our side. We hope this will encourage others to do so.
Even though people are coming from different areas, there is a lot of harmony, and there's these types of beautiful cultural events in addition to everything else that can happen. So for me, it looks like this is a good indication where Iraq as a country can go forward.
Of course, it is a sign of hope.
We followed Garrett into the performance hall and saw firsthand the seeds of hope for this wounded country. A coalition of musicians from all over Iraq and with many different backgrounds coming together to create harmony and beauty in a place where all are welcome.